Hello, this is Mr. Kays, and this is 31.2a. 31.2a. We're talking about the years after World War I and how difficult these years were for people all over the world. The topic is worldwide depression. You're going to see how that affected not only Europe, but the rest of the world. Post-war Europe. World War I left every major European country nearly bankrupt. World War I left every major European country nearly bankrupt. They had spent so much on winning the war. We see coalition governments that exist. Coalition, co, is a prefix meaning two or more. It's a temporary alliance of several political parties to rule a nation. It's a temporary alliance of several political parties to rule a nation. European countries, some European countries did have coalition governments. Disagreements and frequent changes made it difficult to develop strong leadership and move towards long-term goals. Disagreements and frequent changes made it difficult to develop strong leadership and move towards long-term goals. In times of crisis, voters sacrificed democratic government for strong authoritarian leadership. In times of crisis, when there's no jobs, when there's no food, when there's no money, years of uncertainty, voters are going to sacrifice democratic government for strong authoritarian leadership. They're going to sacrifice democratic government for strong authoritarian leadership. We're talking about dictatorships, of course. Now, in the years after World War I, Germany had the Weimar Republic. From 1919 on, they had the Weimar Republic. That's Germany's post-war democratic government. Democratic government. They kicked the Kaiser off the throne, so no more monarchy. And it was unpopular with the citizens. It was unpopular among their citizens. The burden of war reparations. The burden of war reparations. Germany had to pay $32 billion. So there's a burden there. When they do have jobs, some of their money goes to their former enemies. There was inflation. Inflation causes a crisis in Germany. Inflation causes a crisis in Germany. You know, inflation is a general rising in prices. There was a $200 million loan from the U.S. $200 million loan from the U.S. stabilized German currency. This loan from the U.S. stabilized German currency. Investment, loans, reparation, restructuring brings steady economic recovery. Investment, loans, and reparation restructuring, so they didn't have to pay such a high amount to their former enemies, brings steady economic recovery. It brought steady economic recovery. Now, in the years after World War I, people did not want war anymore. They're tired of war. So there are some peace committees that are being formed. And we're going to see two agreements. One is the Locarno Agreement in 1925 and the Kellogg-Briand Peace Pact in 1928. Peace Pact in 1928 were attempts at outlawing war. They were attempts at outlawing war. They signed a treaty saying we will not have war anymore. But the problem was, to enforce that treaty, you had to go to war. So it was kind of worthless. But it says to me that World War I was so horrible, they did not want to go there anymore. Well, almost anybody. As you're going to see aggressor nations pick up on the fact that nobody wanted to fight anymore, and these aggressor nations are going to push their way around like bullies. We'll see that the next time. Well, this is Mr. Kays, 31.2a. I'll see you down the road. Bye-bye.